All right, so this is the new design of my stacking system for the AMS2 and the H2D. The old version I have, it will work with the AMS2s, but there's some weird things going on with it. And I did design this new version to be a bit smaller, and it uses slides that you can get at your local hardware store. Now these are Hickory hardware that I ordered from Home Depot. But you can use most slides because I did design the channels to be cut out. Now I'm going to show you how to put it all together as well as some optional pieces. This is one half of it. This is what it looks like with some optional pieces in here. So we've got the slide rail here, another slide rail here because there's going to be I have two AMSs, and then I have the riser. Now this is one of the optional risers. This is the honeycomb storage wall riser. The standard default riser will not look like this. So the standard default riser will look like this, just doubled up. So this is one of the expansion kits. And then this is another expansion kit. This is just makes it a little bit longer to keep everything contained. This piece is completely optional. So the base kit basically only has the risers, the slides, as well as some of the arm pieces. So let's start with, to put it together, let's start with the double height wall. This is the double riser, but the honeycomb storage wall version. I have glued the dowels in. You do not have to glue these in. I just did because it makes it easier to put it together. And we take our slide 1, slide 2, and we simply put them together. Then on each end, you're going to see I have locking sections. You want to connect these locking sections to keep it together using a cover plate. Now these cover plates do come in different sizes. Since I only have 4 block height, I'm using the 4 block height cover. You can use any height you want as long as you remember to bridge the gaps between multiple pieces. So these two pieces need to be bridged. So if you want to do more than 2 AMSs, you want to do 3 AMSs, you would want to use different sizes so that you can properly bridge these gaps without ending on a gap point like that. So like if you have 3 high, you would want to go 2 here, then 3 again, and then 2 on the other end. But like I said, this is a complete stacking system, so you can stack it as high as you want. And with this new version, you could actually very easily go horizontal as well. So we're just gonna take this cover plate, put it on properly. Oh, wait, before I put it down, I will say that I did have some issues where a bridge point, what's it called? A support structure fell over here. So this is a little iffy. That is completely fine if your support structures fail because you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 locks, and each lock has 2 teeth. So there's 16 teeth, and at least 8 of them are going to succeed every time since they don't require support structure. And so if any support fails, it's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to put that on and then close it, push it down, and there we go. Now this is connected together on one side. You're going to want to do the same thing on the other side. And as you can see, I got another failed structure here and a failed support structure here. Again, that's completely fine. But instead of immediately putting the cover plate on, I am actually going to put on this extension bracket. The extension bracket, like I said, is completely optional. All it does is extend the length of this because this is actually a little bit longer than the base kit. And you can have it hang out the back if you want to save some, I don't know how many grams of material this took, but if you want to save some material, save some filament, you don't need that. But I like it because this is the same length as the plate holder as well. So, like I said, I'm going to attach this piece same way with the cover plate, connect it, and slide it in. And then once that's in, I'm gonna take the cover and cover this side and then lock that in. Same thing. And then this is basically one side. And you can see it's pretty strong with the cover plates. It's not falling apart or anything. But once you put the slides in, it will be even more secure. But before I put the bottom slide in, if you've got the plate holder in the bottom tray, you need to put this in first because it's actually the slide itself which keeps this in. So this just slides right into the two divots here. And that's it. Then we're gonna take the first slide, open it up a bit, and slide it right in, right there. And then you can see I have some holes. There's holes already put in. Now the small holes are for the hickory hardware, but I have rails in case you use a different brand and their holes are in different locations. So I'm gonna put that one in right there. And then screw that in. And you can tell you hear from the torque of my driver that it was in pretty secure. That is because I put a modifier that puts at specifically 100% infill along the rail. So it's very strong along the rail. Your screws will not fall out. And then we can slide that in. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Generally, you want to start with the same screw, so I started on that one. And that is because the first screw will self-center. All right. And then once that's done, you can lift it up, open up one of the slides, and we can start putting in the rails. I'm sorry, the bracers. And with the bracer, I'm going to put the bracer cover right there. And that bracer is going to go right here. And the cover is held in by the rail. If I don't drop the screws. And then that's one done. And you can see it right in. And I have soft close, so it goes right in. And then you're going to want to do the same thing for the bottom one. You bring that out. Put the cover on. And like the top one, I'm starting from the same screw because it does self-center. I didn't put that one in straight. All right, and now we've got the other half done. And now we have our two halves. And now we need to put the two together. Now for the extension, I have this back brace, and the back brace will be connected by these little bow tie things. It's gonna slide that in, and it's going to snap. And then the same thing on this side, slide that in, and it'll snap, and then take the 2 halves, and then they snap together. You can, at this point, put in these little cover blocks to cover the holes, just so no dust gets in there, and it also locks the 2 halves together so that they can't accidentally unlock it all. But this is completely optional, but you can glue these in, but then it'll be permanent. And then that's very strong connections. And then I'm going to connect these pins on both ends. And cover those up. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it right into those holes in the back extension. Make sure that the camera can see them. And they go right in with a little force. And they're connected. And now I'm going to connect this other side to the other side of the bracket. There we go. And now the 2 halves are connected. And they're strong in the back, so you can still move the front like this, but those will be secured once you put the AMSs in. Now you're going to have to connect the back plate the same way. So we've got right there like that. And then on this one, same thing. I'm going to connect it the same way. Now you will need to pull this out a bit so that they're easier to connect. There we go, and now they're connected too. And then the same thing on the one on the bottom. Connect it there. And now the bottom one is connected as well. And then you just drop your AMSs in, start from the bottom and then do the top one. And now they have nice room and it's got a soft close slide. Now, depending on where you have this, you may need to tie it down how heavy your bracers are, because when you pull your AMSs forward, it's actually going to shift the center of weight to wherever your AMS is. So if you don't have some sort of rubberized grip on the bottom, you can try zip tying or somehow secure it so that it doesn't shift around the same way you would secure a dresser that's too light or something like that. But don't forget, I also have the bottom plate trays, which I've also redesigned. So these are a lot better put together. So they use a lot less material because I have the cutouts. And I've got these little middle pieces here to prevent the plate from sinking down in the middle the way it did in the old version. And I also have it cantilevered with little steps over here so that it is easier for you to figure out which row you are putting the tray in, because you only need to lift it above whichever spot you want it and drop it in. And that's pretty much it. This is the new version. Oh, I forgot. I also have rubber feet and rubber, well, not rubber, but TPU feet, as well as covers, which are also in expansion kits. Anyways, peace out.